What's going on, guys? Nick here again, the Flexible Dieter, and I was actually going to do a full day kind of video log, but I figured what I want to do is actually talk about macros and how to establish your starting macros, whether you're gaining, you're maintaining, or you're cutting, and just the best ways to go about that, and the easiest and most efficient ways to go about it. So let's do that. Like a bullet train. Guys, just before I get into it, the harsh reality of all this is basically you're going to have to decide whether you want to put on weight, maintain your current weight, or lose weight. There's only three options, and ideally you want to be doing either the gaining or the weight loss at slow rates. Are really your main two options. But depends how long you've been training, depends on your training age. You might just be happy to maintain and keep your calories at a certain level, and then just progress in the gym and with other ways. So guys, I'm going to break this down into 3 steps, and they're going to be basically my tips, my 3 tips on how to calculate your macros. The first step, which is actually one of the most important, and this is what I use with pretty much all my clients. If you look online, there's heaps of different calculators, heaps of different guesstimate estimates. MyFitnessPal does one as well. The best thing I've found, and it's probably a pretty old school method, is basically you track like a little food diary for about 3 to 5 days. That typically is a good amount of time. You got to be honest with yourself. Just because you're tracking a diary doesn't necessarily mean you got to change things and try and impress either your coach or change things and impress yourself. Just keep it how it was and be honest with it. And that way, after those 3 to 5 days, you've got a good idea of the total calories you're getting in. So the second tip is basically after you've got your diary, you've got your log of what you've been eating, then you look at how many calories you're having each day. So what you want to do is basically look at each day, just jot down next to it roughly how many calories are in each meal. There's heaps of calorie counters on the internet. You can use MyFitnessPal, you can use Google and just type in, say, potato, roughly 100 grams, or what sort of portions you're having. And then from there you can work out, okay, maybe you are having 2,000 calories per day, and then that sets us up for the next step. So the third tip, which is going to be the most crucial one, and which will depend on whether you want to gain weight, you want to maintain your current body composition, or you want to lose a little bit of weight, is going to be working at your ratio of protein, carbs, and fats, which are your macros. Protein is going to be the easiest to work out. So you basically want to set protein at around 1 gram per pound of body weight. So let's say you're having 2,000 calories after you worked out that's about your average daily intake currently, and you weigh 160 pounds. You looking at around 160 grams of protein per day, and that'll pretty much be a safe bet whether you're trying to put on weight or you're in a weight loss phase, fat loss phase. 160 grams, 1 gram per pound. You could go a little bit higher, but 1 gram per pound is going to be a simple, safe bet. So moving on to the fats and the carbs, I like to keep carbs as high as possible just to fuel the training and the workouts, especially as you get into that calorie deficit. So with the fats, what I'll do is basically I'll set the fats anywhere from about 20 to 25% of the total calories. So if the calories are 2,000 calories per day for this athlete, then the fats will be at about 55 to 60 grams of fat per day. And so obviously you've got 160 grams of protein, but they're about 160 pounds. You've got 55 grams of fat, and then simply all you would do is work out the total calories left, and in this case it's about 1,100, and then you'll divide that by 4, which is going to give you the total carbs, because carbs have the same, 1 gram of carbs is the same as 1 gram of protein in terms of calories. So that will leave you with 215 grams of carbs. So what I'll do then is, if you want to maintain your weight, you jump on these macros and hit them very, very close to, as close as you can, just for 7 days straight, and then you'll get an idea with weighing yourself every day what this is doing to your body. If you drop a lot of weight, you know they're too low. If you start putting on, say, more than about 2 to 3 pounds, you know they're a little bit too high. So we can make adjustments as you go. A good rule of thumb is basically, if you want to lose weight, take these calories, if they are around your maintenance calories, and then just drop them by 15 to 20%, and that should get the fat loss, get the ball rolling. Alternatively, if you want to start slowly lean gaining and putting on some muscle, we can bump them up by 15 to 20% as well, and see what that does. So it's basically a little bit of trial and error, but what you want to do is start at a good point where you're honest with yourself and you know this is roughly what I'm having, and get the ratios right, and then you're good to go. And then you can make adjustments on the fly as you go. Remember, these are my tips. They're the way I like to do it. Everyone is different. There's probably some more scientific ways of doing things, but I like to do this. I'm a bit old school. It's just the way I've always done flexible dieting, and I got into it probably about 5 or 6 years ago. I love it. I think it's the only way that people should diet, just because you can have that flexibility, you can enjoy, you can be as bro and as clean as you kind of want to be, but you can fit in that little bit of ice cream, a little bit of takeout, that sort of stuff. And it's obviously going to depend on how long you've been doing it, with how accountable and how precise you can be with tracking those amounts. But I will leave it there. Any questions, drop them below. If you like this content, let me know. And I'll do plenty more of these kind of shorter videos as well as we move on. Thanks.